I believe you have seen the topic. We're talking about how to navigate the Lagos State real estate market. Okay, so there's a lot to be talked to that we're going to be talking about. There's a lot we're going to be discussing. I came here with pack full of information, and it's something that you don't want to miss out on. So, in case you are coming across this video for the first time, this is Adejare. Good afternoon. Let me know if you can hear me. I've decided to use our podcast today so that we can talk about this. So, Mr. Wale, monitor sound here. All right. Ejo, I'll see you to me. So let me know if you can hear me. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I want to start this video by apologizing for starting way too late. It's something that is not intentional. It's due to the fact that I had to attend to some couple of things today. So let me know where you're joining this live session from. If you're joining us from Lagos, give us a thumbs like. Of course, let me also let you know that we are going to be having the question and answer section. So today we are talking about how to navigate the Lagos State real estate market. We're going to be giving some insightful things, and I am also going to be talking about. Thank you very much, Dr. Williams. it's nice having you here. The good news is that Scott Iguma, the real estate movement, has been released. He was released from detention. He was granted bail yesterday. So this is very, very encouraging. So I would say congratulations to him and congratulations to every real estate. And information reaching us here too is that he has also sued P1, or is intending to sue P1. So we're going to be having a long legal tussle. And like I told you, I will be giving you updates as everything evolves. And we've talked about so many things about Lagos. And sorry, my phone is ringing. My phone is ringing. I'm sorry. So I'll just join this live session. So sorry, I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you updates as event continues to unfold. All right, so let's talk about Lagos. Let's talk about how to navigate this the fraudulent real estate market. Let's talk about how you can protect your real estate investment. So to start with, a lot of people might just be seeing me for the first time. I'm the MD of King's Coast Property here in Lagos, Nigeria. And what we do at King Coast Property basically is consultation, more importantly for diaspora who wants to invest in Lagos. And what we've done over time basically is that we have been able to navigate, and we have updated knowledge on what Lagos State is doing. And then we're also going to be sharing some important tips on how to protect you if you are joining, and of course you're watching this. Please, thanks for joining, Mr. Lani. Let me know if my audio is good. Let me know if my audio is good so that I can continue. Okay, saying sound is off. Sound is off. Sound is off. Okay. I don't know. Please. What is wrong with my sound? Okay. Oh, I apologize. I believe. How is it now? How is it now? Please, I'm paying attention to the sound. Okay, if the sound is okay now, let me know. All right. Good afternoon. All right. Thank you. If you can hear me, let me know. These are some of the things that we encounter. Okay. How is it now? Is the sound okay? Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So let us continue. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. My Facebook audience, if you can hear me, please let me know. So let's quickly discuss some of these things very quickly. Let's look at the basic facts and the basic things that you need to know. Now, a lot of things have happened in the Lagos State real estate market. There have been a lot of unforeseen circumstances, and then people have had their bitter sweet experience. So let me use, I don't know if I'm permitted to use that expression. And over time, there've been a lot of certain things. And the point now I'm trying to read is, okay, sorry. All right. Okay, let me know. My Facebook audience is kind of complaining. How is it now? Let me know if it's okay. Now, on this Scotty Guma versus P1 real estate, I've had numerous episodes I've talked about here. I've explained what has happened, and I have given professional recommendations on what every real estate investors must do now. So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how to avoid this kind of situation if you are investing in Lagos. And I'm also going to be talking extensively on the basic realities of the Lagos State real estate market. Now, on this episode, there's a lot of things that I will be sharing, and please let me know if everything I'm explaining is not clear. And of course, at the end of this video, towards the end of this video, I'm going to be opening the lines for questions. Okay, you can drop your question in the comment section. I will read it. Now, going forward, there are some three important things you must know about Lagos. There are three important things you must know about Lagos. And having an adequate knowledge about these things will help you basically, okay, to avoid situations whereby you will be coming online and be expressing what might have happened if you are buying real estate. Now, in my previous videos, I said basically that the industry is very, very saturated. And when it comes to investing in real estate, there are some political undertone, or there are some politics that is being played in the Lagos State real estate market. A lot of people understand that to every businesses that is being done in Nigeria, there is a political undertone to it. Now, I had a discussion with a respectable colleague of mine, and we discussed some important things about documentation. And one of the things we got to realize basically is that when it comes to property documentation, to an extent, there are some things many people don't understand. And I'll be explaining this. Now, the reason why most real estate companies lost possessions of some of the properties they sold to investors in 2012, in 2014, in 2016, in 2018, in 2020, even till date. One of the major reasons why these companies lost possession of these properties were basically due to the fact that many of them did not have documents. Most of those properties did not have documents. And now, if I'm talking about documents, what I'm trying to say basically is that some of the lands that some of these real estate companies sold, of course, when I talk about the real estate companies, I believe many of you, most of their names might have come to your mind. So what I do on my live session is I don't mention names. Even on some of my videos, I don't mention names, but I'll just be telling you that the reason why many people could not allocate today basically is due to the fact that the people that sold properties to Nigerians and Nigerians in diaspora did not do verification and they did not do documentation. And one costly thing that you can do, or one of the easiest way that you can fall into government trap in Lagos, Nigeria. I don't know of any other state. I cannot say, I can only say of what I know, the information I have at my disposal. One of the easiest way that you can lose your money in Lagos is to buy properties that does not have documents. Now, when I talk about documents, please increase that and put it in 3. If I talk about documents, land documents are the following. I will mention them. The first land document that government recognizes basically is what we call excision. The next title document is what we call gazette. After gazette comes C of O. After C of O comes government allocation. After government allocation comes governor's consent. Now, it doesn't matter where you are buying the properties in Lagos. If the properties that is being sold to you does not have any of the following titles that I have just outlined, what you have just done basically is that you have thrown your money and you have gifted scammers. And of course, trust me, they will scam you big time. So if you are investing in Lagos, whether it is ibeju-lekki, whether it is Badagry, because Badagry right now happens to be the next hot spot for real estate developers. Now, the reason why Badagry right now is becoming a place of major interest is that an announcement was made, I think 2 or several years ago, that the Lagos state government will be establishing a seaport in Badagry. And of course, there is also a plan to also open a free trade zone also in Badagry. And whether they're going to be having, or whether we're going to be having, let's say, refinery in Badagry is yet to be seen. Now, the catch that is being used by some of these real estate developers basically is that they go to places, okay, where monumental projects like these are coming up, and they use that monumental project to market the properties. Now, the mistakes, okay, that some real estate investors have done in time past, basically, is that many of them invest because these monumental projects are being used as a bait to lure them. Now, the major questions that several of them have failed to ask is that, okay, now this monumental project, how will it not affect my investment in the future? So I can assure you that several other companies will be rushing to Badagry. Now, to every Badagry indigene that is watching this video, if you are an indigene of Badagry, the first thing I think you need to know basically is that if you have any landed properties, welcome Mr. Sunday. Thank you for joining this live session. Interesting insight. Thank you for joining this live session. Mr. Lani, thank you for joining this session. Now, if you are from Badagry and you have acres of land, you can be rest assured that your properties, your acres, your hectares will certainly become targets. So what must you now do to protect your investment? I'm going to be talking about that. Now, because the focal point for real estate investment now will now be moving towards Badagry, let me tell you what will happen. Now, what some unscrupulous or okay, I'm online basically, and words basically right now can have weightier weightier effects. So I would be mindful of my diction, and I will try as much as I can not to violate every Facebook or YouTube policy. But what I'm trying to say basically is that I can guarantee, okay, that a lot of people will become greedy. So the way it's been done is that some of these guys will approach landowners in Badagry, and that has been the strategies over time. Now they will approach landowners in Badagry. They will buy land in bulk, they will buy land in acres, and they will now tag it as land banking. Okay, because for every system or every strategy for real estate investment, there is always a code, something like a way of packaging it. So they will say Badagry is going to have an airport, let's say if there's an airport coming to Badagry, Badagry is going to have a seaport. Badagry is going to have a free trade zone, and before government get there, come and buy your land. Now, does it really make sense to invest in Badagry? Or will I always recommend that you invest in Badagry? Yes, you should invest in Badagry. If you have the resources to invest in Badagry, you should do so. However, because Badagry, anywhere or any state or any destination where we have monumental projects like the deep sea port, the free trade zone, the refinery, and every other monumental project, that obviously is a clear indicator that government interest is there. Now, if you must invest in this destination, the first thing you obviously want to pay attention to is to invest in accordance to the master plan that government have stated for that place. Now, for the fact that Badagry is going to become a major area of investment, that does not mean that there are no places, or there are places in Badagry, or all lands in Badagry are free. Now, if you have been following my real estate episode, I've always been talking extensively on the different typologies of lands. For some of you that might be following, I believe most of these things will not be, alien or strange to you. Now, when we talk about lands, we have lands that are under general acquisition. We have lands that are under committed acquisitions, and we have lands that are under freehold. Now, what is now the difference, between a land that is committed? What is the difference between land that is general acquisition, and what is the difference between land that is committed acquisitions? Now, the first thing you need to understand basically is that a freehold land is a land that was never, or that has never been acquired by government. That means that if you purchase such land with all the necessary documents, you can approach government, and you get your C of O done if you can pay for this tax and every other thing government will demand for. That is for freehold lands. Because a lot of people have also used this freehold to confuse a lot of real estate investors. Many people don't understand that there are different kinds of land. Now, for lands that are now general or global acquisitions, lands that falls under general or global acquisitions are lands that are acquired by the government. However, government has released some portion of that land. And the process of releasing that portion of that land, let's say for instance, if that land is like 50 acres and it is under global or general acquisition, what happens basically that out of the 50 acres, government can release, let's say, 10 or 20 acres under a document known as what? Excision. So if government release the land that falls under global acquisition or general acquisition, government releases it and they give what we call excision. So that's why if you see lands, that comes with excision, that means that land was initially controlled and owned by the government. So basically because some people in that community approach government, so what happened is that government now releases that land under what we call excision. Now, the fraud that is being perpetrated by some real estate company basically is that when government release, let's say government release 20 acres out of the 50 acres. Now, what has been done in time past is that 20 acres that has been released, people will still go ahead and sell the entire 50 acres using excision, not knowing that the place government gave is not up to 50, it's 20. So, and that is why if you are buying, you need to pay attention to that. Now, when government now release that land under excision, Now, what is now expected for that community to do is to now take that excision for by what? By documenting the excision. Now, when you document the excision in the Lagos State Land Bureau, okay, I have to explain this because a lot of people don't understand the way the Lagos State Land work. So, when that excision is documented at the Lagos State Land Registry, okay, it will be documented. So the day it was documented, it will be recorded. The number and the month and the year that the excision was documented will also be noted. Now, the moment it is documented and it is published, okay, the excision will now become what? Gazette. So a gazette is a what? Is a published and documented excision. And that's why sometimes a lot of people will say, what is the difference, okay, between a gazette excision and a general excision? Many people don't understand this, and that is why I am taking my time. See, if you know all these things, nobody will scam you. That's just the point. If you are very, very familiar with all these terms and terminologies, some of these things I'm explaining right now, there's no reason whatsoever for you to buy lands and find yourself in a situation of this. Now, when the excision has been recorded, it has been filed, and it has been published, it becomes gazette. Now, the difference between the gazette, which is the documented excision, and the normal excision is that when if an excision has not been gazetted, and you remember I told you that under general acquisition, okay, it is either called general or global acquisition. You can see it as general, you can also see it as global. They mean the same thing. Now, because the land was under that kind of acquisition, because when I was doing something about land document, I was explaining what these things are, okay? Now, when those lands now, are we together, has been gazetted, that means a gazette is way, way stronger than an ordinary excision. That means that if something happens in the future, if that excision has not been gazetted, government can easily revoke the excision. But the moment it has been gazetted, government cannot take. If there's a need for government to take that gazette, government will be forced to do what? To compensate you by giving you another place. So that's why I've always explained basically that if you must buy excision, go for gazette. Now, it has now become extremely difficult for real estate investors to differentiate the difference between the gazette and the excision. Now, I'll be having another live session where I'll be explaining some of these things. Because of my time, I won't be able to do that. Now, that is the difference between the freehold and the general or the global acquisition. Now, the next typology of land is what we call the committed acquisition. Now, the reason why they are dragging a lot of real estate development company today, the reason, okay, why we have problem today, okay, is because of the fact that most of these real estate developers sold the land that falls under committed acquisition. Now, let me explain. What exactly is a committed acquisition? A committed acquisition is they are landed properties that government have plans for. If you are unfortunate and you bought a committed acquisition, now you see the fraud that is being perpetuated. Please on that solar down in case you take light. Now, the fraud that is being perpetuated basically is that a lot of people have been told that there is committed. Government cannot use everything. Now, if you buy a property that falls under committed acquisition, it doesn't matter the connection you have. It doesn't matter the amount of money, reduce it. The moment you buy a land that is committed, nothing you can do to stop government from demolishing it. Now, the major demolitions that we have been having in Lagos, the major demolitions, and the reason why we have more demolitions in Lagos is due to the fact that many people, I don't know whether it is ignorance or whether many of them have been wrongly advised. Okay, the one at Oakville, the one at Ikota, the one at Megamond, the one at Kayetoro axis of ibeju-lekki, and of course there was also some demolitions that happened in Festac, the Alaba International. You know, there were a lot of demolitions. Now, after I went for my field work, my field trip, my research, I found I can categorically tell you that majority of those properties were demolished because they were under what? Committed acquisition. A committed acquisition are properties, landed properties that government have earmarked for future projects. So when you search a land and the moment you find out that there is a plan of a general hospital, know that that land is a committed acquisition. If you search a property and you find out, okay, that there is a plan to build an educational institution, just know that that land is a committed property. So when you search properties and you find out it falls under the right of way, okay, under the right of way, just know that it's a committed acquisition. When you check properties and you find out there are different projects, it could be parks and resorts, it could be cinema, it could be bridge. There are a lot of people in Aja now that built properties, they built duplexes worth hundreds of millions that has been sold, and those properties are on the right of way for the proposed Fourth Mainland Bridge. So when government starts the Fourth Mainland Bridge, a lot of structures will be demolished. So any property that you see that there is a plan of, whether hospital, whether it's anything whatsoever, the moment you see it, just know that that land is committed. Nothing on earth will make government release it for you. And if you build or you do anything on such property, it will be demolished. The moment government need that property is gone. Do you understand? So that is it. So those are the three types of lands that we have in Lagos. Now, the reason why most of those real estate companies did not or cannot allocate is because larger percent of the properties they sold to real estate investors at that time were all committed acquisition. They were all committed acquisition. So I need to let you know, basically, that is... See, I said something in my previous video, and I'm going to say it again. Now, the aim of this video basically is not to protect or do damage control. I don't even know how to do that. But whenever we have situations where companies are struggling to allocate, more importantly, where investors, okay, have shown, clear evidence of payment, do you understand? Is either, it's a two-way thing, is either the property they sold to real estate investors falls under committed acquisition, okay, and government have taken possession of that land. I gave instances of what happened in ibeju-lekki. You see this ongoing coastal road that is happening right now in ibeju-lekki is a clear demonstration that most of those lands that these companies say, I'm not mentioning names, I'm not interested in mentioning names, were committed, and it was very easy for government to do was to take it and take possession of those properties. I hope that is clear. Now, the second reason, basically, while some of these companies find it extremely difficult, okay, to allocate, despite the fact that investors have paid, is either that those land have been resold or there's a legal tussle. Now, because of the fact that we've had circumstances where real estate development companies have found it extremely difficult to communicate to their investors, to give them an update of what is happening to their investments. I'll say it's part of the shortcomings of what is happening in Nigeria, and like I said, it's not a defensive mechanism, but it's just like an obvious reality of what is happening. So that is why companies were unable to allocate. Now, when we talk about land grabbing, I've seen instances, okay, where one land has been sold to multiple parties. I've seen it. They've been several instances, okay, of we going for allocations and we are attacked. You see this thing they call okay, I don't know if I'm permitted to use this word. They call juju. They're real estate investors. I don't want to sound. How do I say this now? I don't want to sound like I'm being unrealistic, but these things are real. When I've gone for some allocations and I've seen all these mystical things that you get to see. These things they are very real. I've experienced them, and I can tell you basically there is. So what happens basically is that some lands have been sold to multiple parties, and because of the fact that these real estate companies have found it extremely difficult for them to do a thorough due diligence, they've bought properties from the wrong people. And that is why I will tell you categorically that another reason, okay, basically, that these companies have been unable to allocate is that majority of those lands have been forcefully taken from them. And that is why I have said, and I'm going to say it again, that when you are investing in Lagos, because you see, Lagos is a place of interest. Now, the reason why Lagos is a place of interest basically is due to the fact that the high and mighty in Nigeria, the high and mighty, the rich, the influential, the billionaires, and top investors. When I talk about top investors, I believe you know them. I'm not going to mention them. They all have properties in Lagos. And that is why Lagos real estate is unexplainable. Like, it has gotten to a point basically whereby 80 million cannot get you a good 2-bedroom apartment in places like Lekki. So, though Mr. Scott has been out basically, okay, to say that some of these properties are overpriced. Though we've had a lot of debates, we've had a lot of conversations about that. So I honestly don't intend, to start digging up those past conversations. But is Lagos really overpriced? But what I'm trying to say basically is that the reason why Lagos is a place of interest basically is that the high and mighty, the odogus, the influentials, even our top politicians have properties in Lagos. And I'm going to be giving an instance of what is presently happening at the Eco Atlantic. For some of us who are very, very familiar with the Lagos terrain, you will know basically that the Eco Atlantic basically right now is a huge place of interest. And a lot of people have said, a lot of people have started, okay, they've made unguarded statement that one of the reasons why this present administration, okay, they are more focused on that coastal road is because of the fact that they wanted to create a road access from Eco Atlantic down to the Free Trade Zone and the Dangote refinery. Now, these are assertions, and they have no verifiable facts to back up or to confirm if these statements are true or not. But basically, I can categorically tell you that the Eco Atlantic is a place of interest. I heard that the headquarters of First Bank is already at the Eco Atlantic. there are projects and construction going on in the Eco Atlantic, and I think a plot of land right now in the Eco Atlantic, according to some sources, is over 2 billion naira, and this explains the unsearchable quest for owning properties in Lagos. So these are some of the things you need to know, and as long as Lagos still remains the pioneering state for real estate, all these fraudulent and scams will continue to escalate. So that now to the core of this conversation is, how can I navigate the Lagos State real estate market? What do I need to do so that I will not be coming online or be seeking for the service of Mr. Scott? Let me also say this: Mr. Scott is doing a great job. Trust me. I salute his courage. I salute his doggedness, and I would say, should I say he's a role model? Some of the things he's doing, many of us are aware, but you know the way the legal system is in Nigeria. So the money that you are supposed to use to do something else, you will definitely don't want to start spending on unnecessary court cases. So basically, and for the fact that the services of lawyers and other law enforcement agencies are not free, so you want to be mindful of some of the statements. But Mr. Scott has been very, very bold, very, very energetic, and of course he's an inspiration to us, and probably we will emulate that. Now to the core of this conversation: how can I navigate this real estate investment, Lagos real estate? But how can I ensure that I won't find myself in a situation whereby I have to come online and will start calling brands who have failed to allocate me? Now, the first thing you need to understand is that as far as this our industry is concerned, we have many players, or let me say we have so many actors. And I said at the commencement of this video that if you are doing business in Lagos, whether it is real estate, whether it is construction, whether it's anything, to an extent, there are some political affiliations that determines the success of your business. Now, I'm not trying to say you should join APC or join PDP or do no. Let me quickly explain some of these things very quickly. You need to understand the politics of real estate development, because there are political side to it. A lot of people have failed, to publicly admit it, but it's true. I'm not saying this because I've seen a lot of things, but I don't intend, to dive deeper into that segment, because there are a lot of things that we need to talk about. But the most important of all, basically, is that there is the politics to business in Lagos. I'll leave it as that. So if I have time to go into that, I believe we will dive deeper. So that's it. Now, you need to understand that there are different actors. Now, these actors are in the industry for various interests. There are different actors. These actors are they are in the industries with various interests. Now, another thing you also need to understand is that some of these actors are politically backed. Yes, they have political, though they will not publicly affirm this, but some people have political backings. More importantly, if you are doing the high ticket real estate, if I talk about high ticket real estate, I'm referring to places like the Eco Atlantic, the Banana Island, the Lekki, the Koyi, the Magodo. Those are high ticket real estate. These are properties that they are like in the hundreds of millions, 500 million. Now, you cannot go into that business without having some politically backed people. The reason why a lot of companies are suffering today basically is that most of these guys jumped into real estate because they perceive the industry to be juicy and they perceive the industry to be rewarding. Many of them fail to understand that anything you are doing in Lagos, your political backings determine the success and the strength of that business. I won't go beyond that. So, how should you now navigate? What are those things that you need to do if you are investing in Lagos? Know that they are actors. Actors are like developers with different interests, with different ideologies. Now, there are some developers who believe that if they sell properties to you, all the developments that will make that property to appreciate in value and attract investors are your responsibilities as the buyer. They will tell you all we owe you basically is to give you your documents and show you where your land is. Anything that happens to your landed property is up to you. So if you are now investing, it is very important for you to now identify this kind of developers and do what? Stay away from them. Now, with all these scams, every other things that has happened in the industry, with all these social media dragging and the likes, that is not to totally, okay, conclude that every real estate developers in Nigeria has scam. If you believe in that assertion, my brother, you are making, my brothers and sisters, wherever you're watching me, you are making a very, very costly mistakes. Because you see, in out of every good eggs, basically there are certainly bad eggs. So and the reason why a lot of people appears to have done most of these fraud and these scams for a very long time basically is due to the fact that there are no strong regulations, and these are some of the things that we really need to look into as we are investing in Nigeria. So know that they are different actors. They are different people. Off the phone. They are different actors. They are different people who are in the industry. I hope that is clear. Now, the second thing you also should understand is that you must understand what you want. Now, there are some real estate investors I've interacted with, and from my interaction, I would say basically that many people don't understand what they want, and they don't understand how the industry operates. Now, I'm going to quickly explain what that means so that we can, you see, the moment there are some things you will know about Lagos that nobody can scam you. You know, I definitely have to say this so that you can understand if somebody is trying to scam you or if somebody is being honest. You must know what you want. Now, if you are investing, the first question is, why are you investing? Because you see, you need to understand that some people are in the industry simply because they want to make profits. Now, regardless of the fact that whether the property you have bought is of benefit to you, they don't give a damn. They don't even, like, let me use this word, they don't send you. So their own goal, their own aspiration is to maximize profits and flip the investment and start a new one. You must understand that. So if you are investing, why are you investing in Lagos? If they say ibeju-lekki, why are you investing in ibeju-lekki? You say, okay, buy ibeju-lekki, they are doing airport. Truthfully, yes, the government has approved an international airport in the Ayetoro axis of ibeju-lekki. Buy ibeju-lekki, if dangote refinery is there, fine. Do you know that since that refinery has started, some people have been forced to evacuate that location because of what? Environmental pollution. And some people bought simply because they told them there's a refinery there. You now see the reason why it is important that you must have a reason for investing. Because you see, if you don't have a strong reason for investing, you'll be easily swayed by selfish and inexperienced real estate practitioner. I know the saddest of all basically is that these guys now carry honorary degrees, honorary titles. So if somebody comes to the live show like the way I'm talking to you right now, I would say I've been offered doctor, like doctor of real estate. And these guys have come, they've approached me and they said that they want me to become a doctor with some amount of money, which I'm not going to disclose online. Now, so because of the fact that people carry honorary title, does not mean they wrote any um, publications or they wrote thesis, PhD thesis. So, because the way it works in Nigeria is that whether there is titles you will get when you undergo some levels of research. You have written some of these guys have not even written even master's thesis or master's, oh sorry, master's what they call it, dissertation. They've not written it. Many of them have not even been to the four walls of the university. So the way it's done in Nigeria is that as long as you can afford to pay for this title, they will give you. You start hearing doctor. It's quite unfortunate that even some of these guys, many of them, I'm not trying to like, please don't misquote me. I'm not trying to devalue or make anybody look bad. Some of these guys have not even course through. Some of these developers, majority of them have not even gone through the four walls of university, yet they address them as doctor. In fact, the one I saw recently was someone that was addressed as professor of real estate, and I was shocked. So when you get to hear titles like doctorates, um, doctorates, when you hear titles like, I'm sorry, when you hear titles like doctorate, when you hear titles like um, professor and the likes, oh, I've gone offline. I've gone offline. Please hold on, please. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so when you hear titles like doctorate, when you hear titles like professor, when you hear titles like this and that, please, these are just honorary titles. There are some group of student union, okay, who believe that these guys are okay. Sorry, I'm waiting to come right. So when you hear titles like doctor, ambassador, professor, please don't be swayed. Oh. These are just honorary titles because there are some group of student union, okay, who believe that these guys have contributed so much and they should be honored with such titles. And let me also tell you, some of these titles, some people is but they bought it. Oh. It's not like they wrote any dissertation or they wrote any thesis or they did any publication that must have, warranted it. So I need to quickly say that. So these are some of the things that you need to understand. So do not be swayed by titles and some other things like that. So you need to understand that there are different players. So if you don't have an understanding of what you want, basically, there will be problem. There will be problem. Because it now becomes extremely easy for them to push properties that you see. Larger percent of people in the diaspora have bought what they did not need. I have to let you know. And because of the fact that, get me that, I need to clean my face. Because of the fact that many of them are not aware, okay? Sorry, I'm sweating. Now, because of the fact that many of them are not aware, okay, they've bought things that today has become useless. So if you don't have an idea what you want, so basically, if you are investing in Lagos, what do I want? Why am I investing? So I'm going to be doing a live session by tomorrow, by God's grace. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So mostly my live sessions are mostly on Thursdays and Fridays, but there will be some time, okay, whereby we will have some of these live sessions on Tuesdays, sometimes Wednesday. So between Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes Friday, expect that I will be coming online just to explain things to you the way they are. So this is going to be the part one of this live session. I don't want it to be extremely long so that I can take questions. Okay, if you have questions, I would gladly attend to this question. Then I will continue tomorrow how to navigate the real estate in Lagos part 2. So today I'm going to draw the curtain while I allow questions to come in. Okay, so once questions start coming in, I will respond to them accordingly. And in a situation whereby there are no questions, I'll just have to call it a day because it's been an awesome time with you people. I want to quickly, before I go further, I want to take this time to appreciate everybody that are part of this live session. First of all, I want to say thank you. If I did not mention your name, I'm thanking you in advance. Thank you very much. I appreciate this. And also to say that if you want to buy anything in Lagos, you want a real estate consultancy firm that will help you do due diligence, that will help you check title, that will help you ensure that the process of transition is easy. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that if you want an experienced and seasoned real estate professional to handle it, whether it is house, whether it is land, whether it is short let, anything you want to do, whether it is even farmland, get us involved, because from all the videos we have released, you can categorically affirm and attest to the fact that we know what we are doing. We know what we are saying. We know what exactly we are doing in time past. And you can be rest assured, we have large network of diasporans, the happy ones who can categorically tell you that we've done a great job and who always refer. So you can be part of that community. It doesn't matter whether you have started with another realtor. The moment you are beginning to have your doubts, okay, and you want a thorough verification to be done, you can contact us and we'll help you facilitate everything. So, okay, so I think I don't have questions. It shows basically that today's live session is thoroughly understood. Thank you very much. At least you have made my work easier today. And once again, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. So we're going to continue with the part 2 of this session, how to navigate the Nigerian real estate. So I talked about understanding them, then you knowing what you want. There are still several other things, okay, that are there that I'll be discussing. Simply because I don't want this video to be unnecessarily long, okay, I am going to stop for today. So once again, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. So we're going to be here same time, 5 o'clock tomorrow. I just discovered that most of my audience are around, they're always around from 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock is a very good time to start by tomorrow. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. I appreciate your time, I appreciate your patience, and I'm looking forward to work with you. You want to do anything in real estate and you don't want to fall into scam, you don't want to fall into the wrong hands. Trust me, we have lawyers, we have surveyors, we have town planners, and we have people even in high rank positions who give us updates of what is going on. And it is this update that we use in making recommendations, and of course calling the attention of leaders, because you see, it's sad basically that a lot of people will lose their investments because of inexperience and greedy set of real estate investors. So we don't want that to happen to you, and that is why we are offering you our service. Anything Lagos, whether it's on the mainland, whether it's on the island, whether it's even at ibeju-lekki and the other parts. And of course, I'll be releasing subsequent videos on my YouTube channel. So if you are joining this channel for the first time, if you are joining this Facebook for the first time, thank you for joining. This is a community where we educate investors who are buying real estate. This community basically has been on for like, I think 3 years. In case you are just seeing it, I'll say thank you for joining. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Join this beautiful community, because information like this should not pass you by. And in case you know somebody, your friends, your family, who is interested in investing in Lagos, who have been investing in Lagos, You can also share this our live broadcast. You can also share our channel. Also ensure that they subscribe as well, and of course, so that this good news will go out. Because trust me, we have a lot. We have a lot and lot and lot and lot of a lot of topics, educative topics, whether it is live session, whether it is recorded video, whether it is any other thing. You can be rest assured that as long as you are part of this YouTube community, trust me, you will get undiluted. So in case you want to do any form of real estate investment, whether it is land, whether it is agri, whether it is shortlet, whether it is residential building in any part in Lagos, Lekki Phase 1, Aja, Abramade Soya, Songotedo, Abijo, ibeju-lekki, whether it is Surulere, whether it is Ikeja, trust me, anywhere in Lagos, we are the best choice. So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody. I don't take this for granted. Thank you very much, and see you guys tomorrow. Trust me, tomorrow we're going to continue with this particular episode. Do well to talk to your friends, talk to your family, share this video, and of course, patronize us, work with us. Let us help you handle your next real estate investment. Thank you. Bye for now. God bless you.